Moving along here, but staying in the NFL, we're going to Pittsburgh and talking about the Steelers because they fired their offensive coordinator this week, Matt Canada. He got canned. He had been the Steelers' offensive coordinator just since 2021. But Kyle, this marks the first time that the Steelers have made a midseason head coach or coordinator change since 1941. The Steelers don't do this. The Steelers don't do this. They had to step in here. The offense never eclipsed 400 yards in Matt Canada's 45-game career there. Every other team over this same time frame hit 400 yards at least 4 times. Every other team hit 400 yards at least 4 times. Steelers haven't done it once. This season, the Steelers are ranked 28th in points per game, 28th in yards per game, and 31st in passing yards per game. They've also been outgained every game by their opponent. It's crazy that they're 6-4. Give me your thoughts on the Steelers, this firing, and the fact that they're 6-4 getting outgained every game.
Have you ever heard of a guy named Tommy DeVito?
I do now.
Well, Tommy DeVito has started 2 NFL games, played in 3. He now has more 2-touchdown passing games than Kenny Pickett has, and I believe he's at like 28 games or something.
Oh, no.
So if that tells you anything, Matt Canada should have been coaching in the Canadian Football League a long time ago.
Yep.
I don't understand that. That's another coach that I don't understand how they made it to this season. Should have been fired immediately after the end of last year. He just was never good scheme wise. They have all types of weapons at the wide receiver position, at the running back position, even at the tight end. I really like Pat Fryermuth a lot. And he just doesn't know how to utilize them. It's super vanilla, generic stuff. No creativity in the play calling whatsoever, and super predictable as well. So, I mean, I'm hoping this has good upside for everybody in the Steelers offense. Although I will say, I don't really think Kenny Pickett's that good of a quarterback, just in general. But I do think that they see improvements just because of how bad the offensive play calling was. So I think it's upside for, your George Pickens, your Pat Fryermuth, mostly those receivers, to be honest, the ball catchers, just because
Johnson.
It's going to be more creative and a little bit more scheming people open rather than super generic, hitches and go routes and things like that.
I got to agree that all the blame can't be on Matt Canada, that this is a combination of him and Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett blows. Okay.
Yeah, he's not good.
This decision to fire Matt Canada came from head coach Mike Tomlin. He emphasized that he didn't get the GM or owner's insight on this. He went right to Matt Canada, canned his ass. The running backs coach, Eddie Faulkner, he's becoming the offensive coordinator, but the quarterbacks coach, Mike Sullivan, will be calling the plays. I find that weird. Kyle, let's finish this up. Do the Steelers make the playoffs? They're 6-4 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Do they make the playoffs?
Do you have the remaining schedule?
I can bring it up right now. They are currently in the AFC. The Pittsburgh Steelers are sitting at the 7th spot. Okay. Sitting at the 7th spot. Their remaining schedule coming up this week, they're going to Cincinnati, followed by home games against the Cardinals and Patriots, going on the road to Indianapolis, hosting the Bengals, and then going on the road to Seattle and Baltimore. So
yes, they make the playoffs.
They make the playoffs.
They got the Bengals twice with no Burrow.
Yep.
Patriots are gonna get Drake May.
Cardinals
or Caleb Williams. Cardinals. Kyler's back, so that might be a toss-up. I still think they win because the Cardinals just aren't there yet. They're still in that rebuild. Last 2, I don't think really matter. They'll already be at 10 wins. That probably gets them into the wild card.
Yeah.
And let's say they win one more, gets them to 11 wins. They're definitely in. So I think they do. That's a cakewalk of a schedule. They got the Colts with no Anthony Richardson, 2 Bengals, no Joe Burrow, Cardinals. That seems like a pretty cakewalk schedule into the playoffs.
We got the Cleveland Browns sitting 1 game ahead of them. If you had to pick one team to miss the playoffs between the Browns and the Steelers, which one you picking?
I'm picking. I picked the Browns to miss. I think, and my decision is based off coaching. Mike Tomlin is a fantastic coach. Never had a losing season. I think that him ripping the Band-Aid off and firing Matt Canada is gonna do just enough to push them over the top. And then also, obviously, Cleveland had the Predator got, he's out for the year. So as much as I hate him, he's an okay quarterback. I'm not going to say he's good because he really hasn't been anymore. But still, going to a backup quarterback is, DCR, wild card, young guy.
It's a big drop off. I gotta agree that I like the Steelers more than the Browns. And looking at that schedule, I'll say they sneak in that wild card. The Steelers make the playoffs. Mike Tomlin, we got to respect him. He's a hell of a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Moving
real quick
along.
Before we get off this, real quick.
Yep.
Did you see the video of Chris Boswell, the Steelers kicker?
Go ahead.
Matt Canada, he goes in. He's like,
real quick, explain it. Real quick, explain it.
So he goes in. They're walking into to the locker room, and they're in the tunnel. And Matt Canada goes and shakes up with one of the players because they had just won. And Chris Boswell, their kicker, walks up behind them and says, "It wasn't because of you."
Hilarious.
That's when you know you're gone. Players
hilarious.
Straight up saying it wasn't because of you.
When the fucking kicker's calling you out, hell yeah.
Yeah.